I'm Douglas Christensen, Channel X News. In area news impacting us this Wednesday morning, February 15th, a Caribou City Councilor has quit. Shane McDougall, whose term expires at the end of this year, signed a letter of resignation saying he finds the other councilors are going in the wrong direction, negating any contribution he can make to the city. Outgoing Caribou City Manager Austin Blease told WAGM's Joey Prechtel that McDougall was a thoughtful councilor that the city will miss. The council has accepted nominations or is accepting nominations for a temporary replacement and will hold a citywide election on June 13th to fill that seat. Caribou Weather Office has issued a winter weather advisory for southern Aroostook County.
Winter weather advisory in effect from 1 p.m. this afternoon to 1 p.m. Thursday. The National Weather Service in Caribou has issued a winter weather advisory for snow, which is in effect from 1 p.m. this afternoon to 1 p.m. Thursday. Locations: northern Somerset, northern Piscataquis, northern Penobscot, southeast Aroostook County. Hazard types: snow. Snow accumulations: 3 to 6 inches. Timing: this afternoon into Thursday afternoon. Impacts: snow will lead to slippery roads and reduced visibility at times. Winds: northeast 10 to 20 miles per hour with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Temperatures rising into the low to mid-20s today. Visibilities 1/4 to 1/2 mile at times.
And for those with travel plans, the Weather Office has issued winter storm warnings for Washington, Hancock, and Penobscot counties, including Danforth, Ellsworth, Bangor, over to the western mountains, down to Augusta, Portland, and all of York County. This warning is in effect until 7 o'clock tomorrow night for up to 10 inches of snow in some downstate locales. A fire destroyed a home in Van Buren Monday night. More than 40 firefighters from Van Buren, Grand Isle, and St. Leonard responded to the scene at 233 Lake Road. Authorities say the home was a total loss. Channel X Radio spoke with Van Buren's fire chief, Brian Caron. We asked if they have made a determination as to the cause.
No, we haven't determined it. I'm still waiting for the fire marshal to come up from downstate. With yesterday's storm, it kind of didn't help the travel for them, so he's expected to arrive here late this afternoon or first thing tomorrow morning.
That would be this morning. The family, it's a couple and their 3 children escaped unharmed but lost an all-terrain vehicle and a snowmobile. The family is currently staying with relatives. A man has been arrested for allegedly possessing more than 10,000 methamphetamine pills. The Woodstock police force says the man was arrested in connection with an investigation called Operation Tic Tac. Police say they have also seized ice pills, other drug paraphernalia, and $1,500 in cash. He was jailed and scheduled to appear in Woodstock Provincial Court today for a bail hearing, and Fredericton police also arrested a woman on the city's south side in connection with the same investigation. She was released from custody, will appear in court at a later date. Police have not identified the man or the woman. A new study finds Mainers are increasingly relying on food pantries for survival, and not just for emergencies. 1 in 4 respondents to the survey commissioned by hunger relief agencies reported being dropped from the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program in the past year. The group behind the study says those kicked off food stamps due to restrictions instituted by Republican Governor Paul LePage are now relying on overworked charities. LePage claims his administration has gotten welfare recipients into jobs. Maine has reinstituted a 3-month limit on food stamps for certain people between the ages of 18 and 50. Social work agency Preble Street says Maine had 40 pantries when the organization started 40 years ago. Now Maine has 400 pantries, feeding more than 15% of Maine's households. Maine officials have lost their effort to impose a greater penalty on a nurse whose license was suspended after he let a disoriented patient leave a hospital during a snowstorm. That patient died, and the Maine State Board of Nurses sought to revoke John Zolotny's license for 2 years. The judicial review reduced that penalty to a 90-day suspension, and the Maine Supreme Court yesterday held up that decision. A judge found that Zolotny's failure to complete information to a 61-year-old patient about the risks of leaving Down East Community Hospital in Machias on January 1, 2008. He was found dead the next day, dressed only in slippers, socks, pants, and a flannel shirt. Zolotny's lawyer, Joe Baldacci, says his client has been working since 2010 at Mount Desert Island Hospital and has been earning good reviews. Nursing leaders of Maine say the state is going to face a shortage of about 3,200 registered nurses by 2025. They announced the results of the 2016 Maine Nurses Forecaster yesterday at the State House. The group says nursing is reaching an employment cliff. The median age of Maine nurses, 49 years old 2 years ago, but about 30% of registered nurses are now 55 years of age or older. Maine's public universities will be working with the administration to host a Maine Nursing Summit to address that issue. Animals will be safer in New Brunswick after legislation is passed that would increase penalties for those abusing them. The government plans to enhance animal protection, making animal fighting contests, improper tethering, and failure to humanely euthanize animals a more serious offense. The measure would also provide $100,000 a year to the New Brunswick SPCA. Maine has the lowest paid governor in the nation, and lawmakers say it's time to boost it. Republican Representative Bradley Farren is sponsoring a bill to raise the governor's salary from $70,000 a year to $150,000. The raise would start January 2019, and it would also apply, and so it would not apply to Governor Paul LePage. The bill is set for a public hearing this morning. Farren says Maine's chief executive is responsible for more than a $6 million 2-year budget and should be compensated accordingly. The lawmaker says the average gubernatorial salary nationwide is $140,000. Other state house staffers make more than the governor, and Farren says it's time to bring Maine into the 20th century. New Brunswick Fire Marshal is urging building owners to clear off their roofs. Douglas Brown says residential and commercial building owners should get the snow off the roofs, noting that arenas and warehouses are at particularly high risk of collapse and structural damage. He says collapses occur with little or no warning. Brown also says we should make sure exhaust vents, exits, and windows are clear of snow. Well, there is no date set yet, but Public Safety Minister Ralph Goodell of the Canadian government says he will soon meet with his Washington counterpart, John Kelly, to discuss problems some Canadians are having getting into the U.S. Goodell says he will have a chance in the coming weeks to discuss any border issues or tensions with the Homeland Security Secretary. The Nexus Trusted Traveler cards of about 200 Canadian permanent residents were suddenly canceled after U.S. President Donald Trump issued an executive immigration order banning visitors from 7 largely Muslim countries. That order is currently blocked in the courts, but the Nexus cards are still canceled. There have also been several recent reports about minorities being turned away at the U.S. border, and Manitoba has been dealing with an influx of would-be refugees crossing at remote border points in bitterly cold weather. Goodell says he expects the atmosphere for these talks to be very good. Canadian dollar is worth 76.51 cents U.S. this morning. That is down 16/100 of a cent from yesterday afternoon. The loonie is now 2.06 cents higher than it was at the beginning of the year. The U.S. dollar is worth $1.30.7 Canadian.